So it's Thanksgiving week and it's time to be grateful, but isn't it always? Welcome back to the 50/50 Project, where every week I talk through an item on a list made up of one thing I've learned for each year I've lived. This week we're back in the spiritual category with thing number 34, work your gratitude muscles. So it's a couple days before Thanksgiving as I'm recording this. We've already had our first snow day here in Indianapolis, but when I look out the window this afternoon, it's a classic late fall vista out there. A few golden leaves clinging to otherwise skeletal trees. The skies are leaden and gray. It just looks like sweater weather out there. And so it's the season, I guess, to reflect on the things we're most grateful for. If only to have something, poignant and impressive to say at the Thanksgiving dinner table if your host forces guests to go around naming off their blessings. Gratitude gets a lot of press these days. There's probably at least one article in every wellness magazine right now. And the research seems pretty clear that having some kind of practice of or tendency toward gratitude can increase our sense of well being, or strengthen some of our relationships, or even improve some measures of our physical health. And this is the high season of gratitude, along with pumpkin pie and green bean casserole. But as best I can, I do try to keep gratitude on the menu all year long. I am not a naturally grateful or sunny personality. I'm a sheepdog by nature. I am endlessly scanning the horizon for trouble and threat. And while that keeps me and mine safe in some important ways, and I'm not sure I would change that aspect of my character, it has been of tremendous benefit to me to learn to temper some of that with a conscious, sustained gratitude practice. I need to be reminded just about every day. I need to remind myself just about every day that although the world can be a hard place, it is also full of beauty and grace and goodness and joy. And when I keep to practices that pull me back to these affirmative touchstones, my overall experience of the world and my life itself are just better. And about 3 years ago now, having probably just read one of the billion articles floating around out there about gratitude, I proposed a standing practice to two of my coworkers. They were people I knew pretty well as coworkers, but wanted to know better as people. And they were both like me in important ways, but also different in informative ways. And the three of us have met almost every single workday since then for a 15 or 20-minute call in which we chat briefly about what's going on in life, and then each spend 4 minutes or so running through our gratitude lists for the day. And although I think each of us wondered if we would actually stick with it, or if it might become an onerous sword hanging over our heads by the third or fourth week, we all now say that it's often the best part of our workday, and we all seem to genuinely miss it on the rare occasion that we don't meet for the day. I tell people about this gratitude practice all the time. I've kind of become a zealot about this because I know how much it's done for me in terms of lifting my mood. And I really like the idea of just building in little standing pockets of connection and compassion and joy wherever and however it works for me and how it might work for you. And I don't know anybody that I know who has started their own gratitude group after listening to me talk about mine. But people often ask if we have a structure or any ground rules that kind of make it all go. And we kind of do. I mean, sort of. So, first of all, when we quote, do gratitude, we do in fact start with a list of things that we are just flat out thankful for. But we also talk about things that we're proud of having accomplished or done, or things that just went especially well, things that turned out to be funny or entertaining, and just generally anything that could be construed as positive. Some days there are great, big, huge, joyful things that are happening. And some days the lists are more about how at least X wasn't worse or how Y was awful, but at least it's over now. You can't do a daily call for 3+ years. if you expect each other to be in sort of full rainbow glitter mode all the time. So we don't expect that of each other. Often these calls are a matter of acknowledging when the wheels are coming off, but helping each other see where the crisis is manageable, the problem's fixable, the story is actually quite funny, or things are just not as tragic as they might be. And all of that counts as gratitude in our books. Second, we unapologetically and unabashedly repeat ourselves like all the time. We made a rule early in this process that it's totally fine to rerun blessings or gratitude items from the previous conversation. Just because we've mentioned good weather 100 times in the last year, it doesn't take it off the table if the sunshine is really something that's brightening up this particular day. Maybe I was happy that my car repair was minor and inexpensive on Monday. But if I'm still celebrating that dodged bullet on Thursday, I'm completely free to bring it back up again. In a way, it kind of helps us savor things. We just don't think you can do this indefinitely if you're going to put too much pressure on yourself to be original and novel all the time. Let's face it, gifts and gratitude items are finite, just like everything else. Plus, I do think that would sort of change the dynamic, sort of shifting the emphasis from just observing the reality of life as it unfolds around you and seeing the good that's inherently in it to the pressure of creating new, exciting content every day. I think we all have enough of that to do without adding it into a gratitude practice. Finally, we've been pretty careful and conscious about creating a space where it's okay to feel emotions other than gratitude. If one of us is having a tough time finding a wellspring of Thanksgiving on any given day, that's fine. It's fine to just say, wow, I'm having a hard time finding the gratitude today, but I'll give it a whirl. And it's okay to also just say, I'm really struggling. I'm just going to do 2 minutes today instead of the regular four, or get halfway through and say, I think I'll just stop here for the day. And upon occasion, to just flat out say, I can't do this today. I'm not in the right headspace, or it would feel like a drain on my energy today. Or even just, I have to concentrate on a deadline and I can't get sidetracked by feelings right now. And in that case, sometimes we all take the day off, or sometimes the other two go ahead on their own. But it's never a big deal. There's no guilt attached to it. There's no strong arming or shaming the person to try to get them to participate when they don't want to. And I think that's really important because if it were to become a high pressure situation or some sort of inescapable obligation, that would probably become pretty unpleasant pretty fast. And I don't think we would have made it 3 years under those circumstances. And I have to say, I'm so glad that we have made it 3 years. These short, breezy gratitude sessions add a lot to my day. They allow me to reset and refocus on days when things are a little bumpy. And they give us all an opportunity to really sort of celebrate when things are going great. These daily conversations have converted colleagues into real friends for me. And I think they have helped me really build up my capacity to recognize and examine and fully embrace the things that I am thankful for, even in an imperfect and sometimes rough world. And I think it is about working that capacity to frame and reframe as though it were a muscle. It takes a sustained practice to keep it strong. And as we build it up in one little part of our lives, 4 minutes at a time, it emerges as stronger in other applications and moments. And while I'm a wholehearted advocate for getting yourself into a gratitude group if you can, because it truly has been transformative, I think you probably gain a lot from doing gratitude in whatever way is the most practical and natural for you. For many people, I think it's a 1 or 2 line gratitude journal or maybe part of a prayer at the end of the day. And if it's just once a year in front of a plate of candied yams, I mean, maybe that's not optimal, but I also think it's not insignificant. Gratitude's pretty good for us whenever and wherever we can build it in. Okay, I think that's about enough for today. I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving if you're listening in real time. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And I'll be back next week with thing number 35.